Hi everyone, I hope all is well. This week's Parshat is Parshat Shemot. With the new year, we're also starting a new part of the Torah, Sefer Shemot. So, in this week's Parsha, we see, toward the middle, we have the episode of the burning bush, right? And it's a very, very famous episode in the Torah, where God tells Moshe to go back to Egypt and tell the Jewish people that, he's going to take them out, ready to leave. But there's a little bit of an issue with this, right? Because God tells Moshe to go do this, and Moshe pushes back. I wouldn't say argues, maybe he does argue with God a little bit, and he says, I need more. I can't just tell them that I'm going to take them out, whatever. But really, what does God tell Moshe right off the bat in this episode before, right? God ends up showing Moshe, turning his stick into a snake at the burning bush and having his arm have tzara, leprosy, and it takes it away, right? All these crazy things go on at the burning bush. What does God tell Moshe initially? He says, tell the Jewish people, right, that I've taken account for them, and therefore they'll listen. Right? He tells Moshe the recipe for success, basically from the very beginning. He says, tell them these words, and they'll listen to you, Moshe. And then the episode of the burning bush continues, etc. Now, when we look to when Moshe and ends up being Aaron actually tell the Jewish people what happened, what this whole episode that Moshe just had, it says the Jewish people listened to Moshe and Aaron. Why? Because Hashem pakad Elokim etchem, because Hashem took account for them. So Moshe went through this whole episode of the burning bush, but God told him the answer from the very beginning, and well, obviously that ends up being what the Jewish people actually listen to when they recount what the episode. So why is this word pakad so important to the Jewish people in terms of them being able to leave Egypt? So when we look back to last week's Parsha, we could look at Yosef's parting words right before he dies with his brothers. And he says, Elokim Hashem pakod yifkod etchem. He uses the same language. Hashem will take account of you and then take you out of Egypt. So when the Jewish people see Moshe saying the same words to them, right, they like snap back into reality. Because what's happening in Egypt at the moment, the Jewish people are kind of at their last leg. They're being worked very hard. They're assimilating into Egyptian culture. But no, these words snap them back to the parting words of the greatest Jew in Egypt, the one that took care of them for so many years, and Jewish life under Yosef really was thriving, right? And it snapped them back to that moment, and it said, look, it's time to shape up, it's time to really get out, because what Yosef really embodied, what it meant to be a fighter, a Jewish fighter outside of the land of Israel, to really keep his identity strong. So with that, I really think it's an important message for all of us to have this reminder, just like the Jewish people had from Moshe in this week's Parsha, that Hashem is always watching us. He's always taking account for everything we do. And one day it's really going to come help all of us. Hopefully that'll be very soon and bring us all back to Israel. And with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.